The debate will be focusing on national security. We'll be starting with presidential candidate Dakari Ford with his opening statement.
States of America. I believe national security is a big issue. This covers domestic and foreign terrorism. Cyber attacks are common these days, which is why I'm using the government's budget to strengthen our national security.
And Isaiah Amon.
Hi, I'm Isaiah Amon. We will create a more fair, more lively America. We will apply methods to ensure that we will improve growth and better job welfare in schools. We will improve making life better for our youth. We will make more affordable housing, helping the homeless, and help those that are less fortunate. We need to improve national security by decreasing the number of illegal immigrants and tripling the Border Patrol. Thank you.
First question on national security. As the President of the United States, what would be your top 2 to 3 priority investments that you would make within your administration as it pertains to national security?
More money into our police and military academics to strengthen the quality and quality of our security forces. Because with the recent shootings, we will strengthen the police and community bonds with gatherings. We will also raise taxes on the wealthy by 5% and the middle class by 2% to get people out of poverty.
Term, we would increase school funding, military funding, and more money for job creation and welfare. We would not do this by raising taxes, only by redistributing the funds that already go into things we are not using, such as Obamacare. It is nowhere near affordable and isn't funding. Funding could go to more jobs and better education for our youth.
How are you going to raise money for the government?
I said we were going to raise the money. I said we were going to use money that already existed in our government funding.
If the majority of the states are required by law to balance their budgets, why shouldn't the federal government be obligated to do the same?
We also wish to national debt and balance the federal government spending and budgets and evaluate it. It's often to ensure it maintains a budget worthy of the American people.
A balanced budget is not a good idea. Unlike the states, the federal government has to make room for contingencies like war, recessions, bailouts, and such.
When American forces were attacked by Pearl Harbor by Japan, it was considered then, as it is now, an act of war. If another foreign power were to attack our military or widely held public infrastructure, such as public health systems, communication infrastructure, and so forth, by means of cyber attack, would you, as the President of the United States, consider this an act of war?
Yes, we would consider this an act of war, due that is a thought-out attack focused on doing harm to our people. We would pursue diplomatic responses as with any attack on our people. This is a very hard decision by our team and is one we are focused on solving.
Before jumping into any conclusions, I would first figure out what were the means of the attack, and if I were to find any proof of an attack made on purpose, I would put all my efforts in stopping them. But if it was like a convention hack, we would find out who it is and why it was done, but not declare war. We would find out the seriousness of the attack. We would respond to any hostile attack inspired in cyberspace as we would to any other threat to our country. We reserve the right to use all necessary means, diplomatic, informational, military, and economic, as appropriate and consistent with the international law, in order to defend our nation, our allies, our partners, and our interests.
Okay.
Excuse me for asking, but I'm a bit confused about your remark. Would it be considered an act of war or would it not?
Once we figured out the whole attack, we would use as an act of war. We will cut NAFTA because the goods exported to Canada are fined with $280 billion, and the imports are fined with $295 billion. And the Mexican exports are fined with $267 billion. And we will use this money to increase our national security and our military and police.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ford. Final closing statement on national security as a Republican candidate for the President of the United States.
We will increase jobs and improve national security by creating a system that will let 25,000 immigrants illegally into our country every 2 years. It will lessen the need for coming into the country illegally, and of course, there will be no need for the level of security alongside this procedure. There will need to be a level of security alongside this procedure, as background checks will be done on every one of them. My opponent says we need to raise taxes by 2% for those in poverty and 5% for those in the wealthy. Why would you want to do that? Because,
And that's that.